Everybody, welcome back. We are getting ready to do some more acrylic pouring, and this one is going to be a flip cup. I've got some colors I need to use up. They're going to be different consistencies, so it should be an interesting flip cup. But our colors are Amsterdam Oxide Black, I can't talk anymore, Artist Loft Copper, Amsterdam Carmine, Amsterdam Azo Yellow Deep, Amsterdam Permanent Red Violet Light, or maybe not. The tip is clogged. Let's do some metallic, Amsterdam Metallic Silver. I didn't do a lot, just a little bit. Some Amsterdam Sky Blue Light. And let's add some of the same colors just to make sure we have enough paint. I don't think I said this one. It's Amsterdam Permanent Red Violet. Not the light, but the dark. Okay, that should be more than enough paint. Okay. Ready? Actually, I want some of those cells to get big, so let's go ahead and pop. And now let's spread it around. And I forgot to say, this was taped off on the back, and I had already spritzed the back to tighten up the canvas. Unfortunately, I'm getting my edge here. I've got thick and thin paints, so I wouldn't imagine getting the edge, but for some reason, I still get it sometimes. And it's only on certain edges. Well, that one edge, it looks like. Okay. All right. Are we ready to see what miracles happen? Let's go ahead and give this a torch. I was trying to get rid of the harsh line, but it doesn't want to go anywhere. So we'll leave it. I think this will be interesting when it dries also. Partly because it's a mix of opaque and transparent and semi-transparent paint, but also some is going to dry darker, some lighter. Also, the metallics will dry differently, the copper and the silver. So we'll have to see which of those stand out and which don't. Let's go ahead and bring you in for a closer look. Okay, starting in the lower right corner, we're going to go clockwise. Try not to go too fast. You can see all those little cells. Those are purely from the mixture of the paint and the consistencies. A mix of brands, all those different things contribute to cells. There's no silicone in this paint. That's the harsh line I was talking about. We'll see how that dries. That's the middle. A little color distortion there. There it corrected. Here's a dry picture. This one's going to be a colander pour. I haven't done this in a while, partly because one of the very first colander pours I did, which granted that's one of the first that I did, which was 3 years ago. Yeah, 3 years ago. Just sold recently. And I think one of my other colander pours is still waiting to sell. Although it's a little more harsh, so I understand why it hasn't sold yet. So we're going to go ahead and do one. I'm doing it as a dirty cup pour, colander pour. Trying not to move the cup much so I don't move everything around, but I've got all the colors layered. They're different consistencies, so this will be interesting on how it plays out. But the colors are Amsterdam Carmine, and I apologize for the extra noise. I'm doing laundry and there's a pair of overalls in the dryer. Carmine Red from Amsterdam, then Amsterdam Permanent Red Violet, Amsterdam Sky Light Blue, Sky Blue Light, I'll get it out right, Artist Loft Orange, Amsterdam Azo Deep Yellow, Yellow Deep, I keep flipping the words, and then Artist Loft Cerulean Blue. Or no, sorry, Artist Loft Cerulean Blue is not in it. Just the other 5 that I read off to you. So I think this will be an interesting color scheme. And I've tried to layer it so that one color doesn't eat another. But like I said, they're different consistencies. So we'll have to see what happens. I think I've got my colander in the middle. So let's go ahead and start pouring. my colors blended a little more than I wanted to. Let's move these colors around a little. It's too thin on the edges here. You can see it's kind of shrinking back. I think you can see. Maybe, kinda. Look at those pretty colors though. Okay, let's try this again. Little different setup. I've got one of my tulip cups up underneath. Part of my problem, and I forgot, I had some little tiny clips that I had this sitting on so that these ridges here don't catch the paint, so that it flows easier, and I can't find them. So I've got a tulip cup up underneath instead. We're going to pour the colors the same way. My orange is thicker. The red still fell a little bit when I was layering the colors, but hopefully with the orange being thicker, we won't get it quite so muddy. Still did a bit of a tulip cup on top of a colander pour, didn't it? ahead and spin it a little bit. Kind of like that right there. It kind of looks like stamens there in the middle, so it kind of worked out perfectly. I wasn't expecting to do a flower, although I was guessing that might happen with me putting it on top of the tulip cup. But we've got some interesting stuff going on. Let's go ahead and torch it. So we're going to get a lot of speckles. Actually, even though I've got bubbles in there, I'm going to let it dry like this and see what happens. Hopefully no dimples from the bubbles. We'll have to keep an eye on it. Since it's already kind of blended together, all except for the middle there, I want to try to leave that part alone. I am going to break up this yellow a little bit though. Let's bring you all in for a closer look. And it looks like it's holding better too, so that's good. So starting at the bottom, not a lot of cells, and that's why I didn't want to pop the bubbles. I didn't want to add that speckled look. So a lot of nice blending going on between the colors. And some of those colors will darken up, some of them will stay the same. So we'll have to see what it looks like when it dries. The magenta will darken up for certain, and the red should darken up a little bit. Back to the beginning. There's the middle. Here's a dry picture. Thank you all for joining me on this one. I'll see you on the next one. Bye.